Gadget and Gizmos brought to you by Quicker Next, No Fikar, Chat Quicker, and HDFC Ergo General Insurance.
Hello and welcome to another powerful episode of the Gadgets and Gizmos show with me, Siddharth Sharma. And we have some amazing smartphones and cameras lined up for you guys this week. But before we begin, let's tell you what else is on the show for you guys in the next half an hour.
On the show this week, we get you the review of the all-new Google Nexus 6 and the Blackberry Classic. There is also a new game in town that Sahil reviews.
Alright, that was the lineup on the show, and first up what we've got for you guys is the all-new Google Nexus 6. But before we tell you what this smartphone holds for you guys, let's take a look at its specifications first.
Google Nexus 6 sports a Motorola hardware and a 5.96-inch QHD AMOLED display. It is powered by a 2.7 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 805 processor with Adreno 420 GPU and 3 GB RAM. It is a nano SIM compatible smartphone with 4G LTE, NFC, Bluetooth connectivity. Nexus 6 comes loaded with a 13-megapixel optical image stabilization rear camera with LED flash and a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. It has a non-removable 30 to 20 mAh battery and comes in a 64 GB version at a price tag of Rs 48,999 and a 32 GB variant at a price tag of Rs 43,999.
Alright, those were the specs on the all-new Google Nexus 6. Google this time around has partnered with Motorola to come out with its flagship device Nexus 6. So let's begin and tell you what the review holds for this smartphone from Google. Is it worth your money or not?
Google Nexus 6 is a supersized version of the new Moto X that has been given some steroids and Android Lollipop 5.0. It has a sturdy aluminium metal frame and gently curves at the back. The Nexus 6 has a head-turning 5.96-inch AMOLED display that is not only bigger and brighter than the Moto X, it edges out the 5.5-inch iPhone 6 Plus in every way. It packs in a stunning 1440 by 2560 resolution and 493 pixels per inch. It's officially welcomed into the Quad HD club, and this display is the one to have if you are a phablet lover.
Now design-wise, the Google Nexus 6 looks exactly like the Motorola Moto X second generation smartphone that came out recently in the market. And when it comes to the display, it's a way better display than what we've seen on the Nexus 5.
At the heart of the Nexus 6 is a 2.7 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon 805 quad-core processor that has an Adreno 420 GPU. It's a top-of-the-line chip of Google's largest Android phone yet. Backing that up is 3 GB of RAM and a reasonable 32 GB or 64 GB of internal storage. And the great bit is that this smartphone is really fast. It perfectly marries with the Android Lollipop, and yes, it does have its hang-ups from time to time, but nothing major. Once the bugs are fixed, Nexus 6 is one top-performing stock Android smartphone.
Now, if you are looking for a pure Android stock experience, then Google Nexus 6 is the device to own, and there are no second thoughts about it.
At its back, there is a 13-megapixel camera loaded with a Sony IMX214 sensor with a wider f2.0 aperture and optical image stabilization. That said, it should give a good camera performance, but that is not the case. The camera quality is just about okay. Average at best, and considering that Nexus 6 cost more than Rs 40,000, they should have worked on the camera a little bit more. The Nexus 6 also has a non-removable 30 to 20 mAh battery. The battery has wireless charging capabilities and can supposedly regain 6 hours of power after 15 minutes of charging with a specialized turbocharger that features Qualcomm Quick Charge 2.0 technology. But that hardly worked on our device.
Now when it comes to the camera on the all-new Google Nexus 6, sure, it is an improvement over the outgoing Nexus 5. But still, this camera lacks a bit of course, it's got optical image stabilization now, but still, this camera is not that fast. So in camera department, this is just an average smartphone at the price point at which the Google Nexus 6 is placed at.
The Google Nexus 6 has a razor-sharp and expansive display, a top-of-the-line Snapdragon 805 processor, the latest Lollipop operating system, and yes, the Nexus 6 is heavier and wider than most big smartphones, and it's the most expensive Nexus yet. But love it or hate it, it's the best stock Android smartphone money can buy right now in India.
Okay then, time now for some camera action on the show, and for all you DSLR enthusiasts, Nikon recently came out with a full-frame DSLR D750. And next up on the show, we get you a review of this new DSLR from Nikon.
Nikon D750 is a full-frame DSLR aimed at enthusiast photographers. Nikon's equipped the D750 with what it describes as the new 24.3 megapixel FX format sensor and comes with a higher maximum sensitivity of 12,800 ISO, support for 1080p videos at 50p and 60p. Continuous shooting is also a tad faster at 6.5 frames per second. The D750 inherits the D810's 9-frame AEB and 91K RGB metering sensor as well. The D750 is immediately recognizable as a Nikon DSLR, smart, confident and familiar. Measuring 141 by 113 by 78 mm and weighing 840 grams with battery, it's officially the smallest and the lightest full-frame DSLR in the current Nikon range. In terms of the build quality, the D750 uses magnesium alloy at the top and rear. The Nikon D750 is equipped with a pentaprism optical viewfinder with 100% coverage and a 0.7x magnification. The D750 becomes Nikon's first FX format DSLR to support an articulate screen. The rear LCD screen is a 3.2-inch one with 4:3 aspect ratio. 51-point autofocus system and group area autofocus mode are also available on the D750. The D750 also provides 3 separate still image formats, the FX, the DX and the 1.2x formats, providing you flexibility to capture your subjects in a multitude of situations or environments. Unfortunately, the D750's live view performance remains locked in the doldrums, taking about 1.5 seconds to focus and shoot under optimal conditions. You'll also find a solid complement of ports on the left side, an accessory terminal for remotes and Nikon GPS unit, HDMI, mic and headphone jack and a USB 3.0 port. And on the right there are 2 SD card slots, which are great to have. Nikon D750 is priced at Rs 1,34,000 and the Nikon D750 delivers the best photo quality and continuous shooting performance in its price class, along with a nicely well-rounded feature set. Nikon's Wi-Fi implementation is weak and some of the other features could be executed a little better. Plus, live view performance is sad. It's not the cheapest camera in its class, but the Nikon D750 delivers an excellent combination of quality, performance and features for its price.
Now, Blackberry is a company that has been struggling for quite some time. Even the Blackberry Passport did not do that well. But people at Blackberry really don't know when to give up, do they? They recently came out with the all-new Blackberry Classic. And next up on the show, we tell you whether you should buy the all-new Blackberry Classic or not.
Why do people still love BlackBerry? It's mainly because people are still in love with the physical QWERTY keyboard. And that is what exactly BlackBerry did with the Classic. Give it a nice keyboard. But that's not all. BlackBerry Classic is a look in the past for BlackBerry, but in a good way. BlackBerry Classic stays loyal to the same design language that we've seen on the BlackBerry's iconic bold smartphones. It features a stainless steel outer frame, a plastic and glass front panel, and a textured back panel with slightly rubberish finish. The front of the phone houses a 3.5-inch square display with 720 by 720p resolution. The display offers wide viewing angles, vibrant colors, and good brightness levels. Text and graphics look crisp and sharp. The touch response was also good on the Blackberry Classic. Below the display, you'll find the menu, back and call accept and reject keys in addition to the optical trackpad for navigation. And that is where the past creeps up on the Blackberry Classic. These keys are functional and it's good to have them back on a Blackberry device. The typing experience, well, is seamless. Classic runs Blackberry OS 10.3.1, the latest version of Blackberry 10 operating system. Blackberry Classic sports a 8-megapixel camera with 5-element f2.2 lens, LED flash and support for 1080p HD video recordings at 30 frames per second. It also sports a 2-megapixel fixed focus front camera that supports 720p video capture. The camera quality is just average, and that is what you expect from a Blackberry device. The Blackberry Classic is powered by a 1.5 GHz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Plus processor and has 2 GB RAM. The phone comes with 16 GB storage expandable via microSD card up to 128 GB. The performance for productivity is great, but opening multimedia and playing games, well, let's just say this phone is not meant to do that. At a price tag of Rs 31,990, the Blackberry Classic is a little expensive, especially given the fact that it comes with a slightly older hardware, but this is a pure productivity smartphone. The right price point could have been somewhere about 25,000 rupees, and this would have made perfect sense. But it's a Blackberry after all, and when it comes to productivity, mails and security, the Classic sure makes more sense than the Passport.
Now guys, Blackberry Classic is a brilliant smartphone if you are looking for productivity on your smart device. But if you want to play games, then give this smartphone a skip for now. And with that, it's time for us to take a very small break on the show. But you guys don't go anywhere because there's a lot more technology action coming your way on the other side.
Gadget and Gizmos brought to you by Quicker Next, No Fikar, Chat Quicker, and HDFC Ergo General Insurance.